Good morning, it's Pastor Donner from Wycourt Realtors with
Kim Watson with SWBC Mortgage.
and today we're going to talk about home ownership,
Yes.
right? And how it's possible with a couple programs in Georgia and the city of Savannah specifically. So I'm going to be interviewing Kim. Like I said, I've been through this, several times. We have a live video out there, but because it's probably buried somewhere in my Facebook and you won't be able to find it, we wanted to record this one live, or record this one so I can put it on the in my buyer's compensation playlist. So we're going to go over it again, but actually we got a lot more information this time
Tons.
than we did the last time.
A lot.
Yeah, we got
And it's all good.
it's all good for you and for us.
Exactly.
But so the two programs we're going to be talking about that will help you buy a home in Savannah or in certain counties in Georgia
Yes.
is called the Georgia Dream and the City of Savannah Dream Maker.
Correct.
All right. So tell me, what's the Georgia Dream?
Georgia Dream is a program for the entire state of Georgia. All depends on the county in which you choose and are looking to purchase in. But it's backed up by the Department of Community Affairs.
Okay.
And they're the ones who handle the program, and it really is a second lien and a second loan that's being done in order to provide the assistance.
Okay. And so what counties are our counties involved in this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Chatham County is designed as what they consider a hardest hit area. And the state of Georgia has put into effect a hard hit fund. That provides assistance up to $15,000 if you are qualified and able to purchase in the Chatham County area.
So when she's saying $15,000 goes towards the down payment,
Yes,
goes towards closing costs,
absolutely.
and if there's still some left, it goes towards the purchase price of the home. So it's amazing.
Yeah, it goes down on the principal.
I've done this before, and it's amazing. Actually, I'm going through one right now. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So you're saying Chatham is Liberty and Bryan or Effingham, or those in the hardest hit locations?
Those are not considered in the hardest hit area. However, they still qualify to get financed under the Georgia Dream program, but they would qualify for $5,000 in assistance, which still is really good.
Yeah, free
Free money.
$5,000. And in the Georgia Dream, do they forgive that money?
Well, in the Chatham County area, it can be forgiven with the hardest hit fund after 5 years.
Okay.
So as long as that home has been owned for 5 years and has been utilized as the primary residence, then that second loan is then forgiven and released.
So all $15,000.
All $15,000.
After 5 years,
Yes,
you $15,000 gone.
absolutely.
Holy cow, that's amazing. That is awesome. So I mean, and an average, person that buys and sells homes is like 5 to 7 years anyway. So
Yeah,
perfect timing.
it's perfect.
Okay, well, what about the City of Savannah Dream Maker? Now, what is that?
That program works somewhat similar to Georgia Dream, but it is just geographically located in the city of Savannah.
Okay.
Assistance on that program also starts at $5,000, but what's really fantastic about Dreammaker is that assistance can go up to $60,000.
60. That's. I don't know if this is the opposite way, whatever way it is on the camera. $60,000.
Yes.
If you are in certain areas, and that's why we continue to say,
Yes.
if you got questions about these types of programs, give us a call.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, so we can help you out. Okay. All right. So, are they related to each other at all?
No, these are run by two very separate entities, and they're two separate programs.
Okay. Okay. Two separate programs. Okay. What kind of loans can you use for Georgia Dream or the City of Savannah Dream Maker?
All loans are available. So what we're talking about, all loans that we can use this assistance with a VA loan. We can use that with an FHA loan, with a USDA loan, and even a conventional loan.
Wow. So if VA loan, like they're already getting, help there with the VA, and then this will come bringing also more further down.
Right, and what's perfect about VA or even a USDA loan, those are 0% down programs already.
Right.
So the amount of assistance that you qualify for would go towards either reducing the principal, which then reduces the payment. So it reduces the loan amount, reduces the payment that you have to pay, and then can help pay for those closing costs as well.
Can I ask you this question? Yeah. This is something we didn't bring up before. Can you use it to pay down a rate?
With Georgia Dream, you cannot. You
Okay.
cannot do a rate buy down.
Okay. What about Dreammaker?
Yes,
You can.
you can do that with Dreammaker. Yes.
Holy cow! Wow, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I actually had one that we were able to do that. We had a borrower that, she was very specific on the type of payment that they wanted, which was absolutely
You told me
perfect.
that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so we had some assistance not only from the city, but there was also assistance that was provided by the seller that was able to give a couple $1,000s in closing costs.
Yeah.
So we were able to kind of meet everybody in the middle and use those extra funds to buy down that interest rate, which was permanent rate reduction
Wow.
and a permanent lower payment.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's good. All right. So we talked about, we were asking about what kind of loans, FHA, VA, conventional, USDA?
USDA? Yes.
USDA. So all types of loans.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions on it, obviously the one to talk to is that one over there.
Call me.
So we already talked a little bit about how much they give you, right? The Georgia Dream
Right.
and the Dream Maker program. Like I said, those programs will give you specified on location. The City of Savannah Dream Maker, they give it to you per household size too, right? There's qualifications on that.
Yeah, there's qualifications. Both programs, this is how they're very similar, is that they run off of income from the household. Not necessarily to qualify for the loan, but because these programs are designed for low to moderate income households to help generate home ownership, then there are maximum income limits. So you can't make more than a certain amount of money for the entire household.
Right, so I think what Georgia Dream was 70.
Georgia Dream for a household of 1 to 2 starts at $64,000.
Okay.
So that's a pretty fair income limit.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for the Dream Maker, it's looking like a household of 1 is $36,550.
Right, and keep
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
sorry, and keep in mind that is the number of folks in the household. So if you have minor children in the household, that counts and adds on to the household size.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to make a little bit more money in income there.
Yeah, like so if you had a wife and 2 children, or a husband and 2 children, excuse me, and you would be at 4, you can make $52,000.
Right, with the city of Savannah.
Yeah, so that's not bad.
No,
That's
not
bad
at all.
All right, can they be combined?
These programs can be combined. We have to look at them on a case-by-case basis.
Okay. All right. So one of the homes that we're closing actually this Thursday. I don't want to give a date because then this video wouldn't remain in perpetuity. But anyway, it's this Thursday, 2025. I don't know. But no. Anyway, so they're closing. They got over $30,000. They combined the programs. Got over $30,000. Her end up the home price was $124,900, and with this program she ended up paying I think $84,000. She's paying on a principal of $84,000.
I mean, it's amazing.
I mean, it was like what?
And this is why we always say home ownership is possible.
Yeah, it is definitely possible. I mean, she had all kinds of combinations of like.
Absolutely.
It's too numerous to talk about how much she got and how it worked out. I think there's like 4 loans involved.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, so you, like I said, if you have questions, home ownership is possible, but you gotta come and give us a call so we can steer you in the right direction. But you could also get $30,000 or $60,000, depending on where you're at. So, so how do they get started anyway? We'd say call you. Is that the
qualifying for anything is always the best first step. We have to make sure that the income limits are within line. We also have to look at credit and make sure everybody meets credit criteria that's involved. So start by giving us a call. Give me a call, and we can take a look at all of the entire scenario and see what works best for you and which program we can fit you into.
I mean, and the great part about this is this program. Like, if you were renting a house right now, you could be paying Susie over here, our property manager, $1,200, $1,300 a month, right?
Yep.
Or you could own your own home and pay less than that in a lot of cases.
In a lot of cases, yeah.
So I mean, it's just something to think about, and then it's yours to do with what you want.
Right.
In certain places, you can't be doing whatever you want in all places, but you own your own home. You know,
Yeah.
it's
If you want to paint your living room, you don't have to ask for permission
Right.
anymore.
right. No,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, yeah. It's amazing. So it's just something to think about, and that's why we bring this up because we want to make sure that you guys know that it's possible. All right. So how do you get qualified? Like besides we just talked about the credit and
Right.
income. What else do you have to do to get qualified?
Well, you want to make sure, and we have to find out, and this is where you come into play as a realtor, is making sure that, you're finding homes that meet the needs of the family, obviously, and that are in that geographic location, because that's all going to depend on where the house is at, is how much assistance is available to you.
Yeah. And you have to go through a class or something?
Yeah, there's a homebuyer education course for both programs that is incredibly informative, that can be taken, and you don't have to wait to take that course until you decide that you want to buy a house. It's a great course that you can take up to a year prior to even buying the house.
Yeah, so if
So
you're
it's pretty easy.
if you're sitting here watching this going, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You just take does it cost?
Yeah, I think, well, if you take the course online, it's like $50. And you
Okay.
have to take it from a specific online vendor. So give us a call. We can get you that information. But one of the classes with the City of Savannah is actually in person.
Yeah.
And that's run by the Consumer Credit Counseling Service, is one of the folks that run that here locally. And we can also get you set up and in touch with the right people for that class.
All right, so we talked about the class that you have to go to, and it's relatively cheap for what you can get, bang for the buck.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously.
And it's great information.
Yeah. But now we want to talk about there's a myth on what a new home buyer or first time home buyer is in real estate. So can you just share with them what in mortgage
Sure.
a first time home buyer is?
Sure. For a first-time home buyer in our mortgage world, it's somebody who has not owned a home in the last 3 years. Now, specifically to these two programs, for Georgia Dream and for Dreammaker, it's somebody who hasn't owned a home for the last 3 years as their primary residence.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
So, what I think one of the scenarios that during the briefing that you and Iris Bryan gave us from the City of Savannah
Yes.
Dreammaker program was that she had a person that came in, was renting a home. They owned a home in another state,
Yes.
but was renting it out for the past 3 years.
Yes.
And then they moved here, and they still qualified because the home wasn't their primary residence. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, and they could prove that it had been rented for the last 3 years and that he was physically living here in this area for that length of time. So it made perfect sense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that does make sense. But so those are some of the things about Georgia Dream. I think we talked about a good bit of it, but there's some nuance in every, loan and every scenario.
Yes.
And that's why we say get with Kim, especially when you're trying to buy. And then after you get with her, get with me so I can take you to the places where you can, maximize the fund. I mean, because how long are they going to do this for?
The hardest hit fund, and that's a great thing to point out, that's not going to last forever. That was a selected pool of money that was provided by the state of Georgia. The anticipation is that it's going to run out at some point this year.
No.
And that's for that $15,000. So you don't want to wait around for that at all.
Yeah, so hardest hit fund is going to run out. That's the $15,000.
Yes.
Gotta get it right now if you can get it. And then the market is about to heat up too, so
It
the
already has,
competition is
yeah.
going to be hot and heavy for these small amount of homes. If you saw my video last week, you know that we're seller's market right now. So if you can get in, before everybody else comes into the market, then you might be in an advance. Well, I just want to say thank you for watching our video, and Kim, thank you very much for joining me once again. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see you on Tuesday. The next time we shoot on Tuesday live.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Have a good one. Bye.